November 29th is the anniversary of the United Nations 1947 passage of General Assembly Resolution 181, which called for the partition of the British Mandate of Palestine into two independent nations, one Jewish, the other Arab, and an international zone around the city of Jerusalem. This three-video series explores how the Partition Plan reflected more than a half-century of Jewish immigration and strategic land purchases, as well as the repeated failure of Arab leadership to engage in any process reflecting the reality on the ground. The land of Israel has continuously had a Jewish population for more than 3,000 years, but the modern organized effort to bring the majority of the Jewish people home from exile began with the First Aliyah from 1882 to 1903, when some 25,000 Jews, mostly escaping anti-Semitism in the Russian Empire, moved to Ottoman Palestine. They purchased land from Arab owners and established 27 agricultural settlements, mostly on the Mediterranean coastal plain and near the Sea of Galilee. The coastal plain was comparatively cheap and sparsely populated because of the poor soil quality. Subsequent periods of settlement built on and extended the same settlement outline. The Second Aliyah from 1904 until the outbreak of World War I in 1914. The Third Aliyah to now British-administered Palestine from 1919 to 1923. The Fourth Aliyah from 1924 to 1929, when the United States began restricting immigration from the parts of Europe with the biggest Jewish population, and the first phase of the Fifth Aliyah from 1929 to 1936, when global economic depression and the rise of Nazism drove Jews, especially from Germany, to defy British immigration limits on Jewish newcomers. Those restrictions dated to a British white paper report on Palestine in 1922, and became stricter in the 1930s, leading to an organized program of clandestine or illegal Jewish immigration called Aliyah Beit, beginning in 1934. Through the building of settlements, the Yeshuv, the Hebrew term for the area of Jewish settlement, reached north toward Lebanon and south toward Gaza and the Negev as Jews moved into agricultural villages and urban areas. Continuous Jewish immigration, land purchases, and discontent with British rule led to an Arab revolt that flared in 1936 and lasted until World War II broke out in 1939. As with similar periods of intercommunal violence between Jews and Arabs in the 1920s, the revolt compelled the British in 1936 to convene a royal commission to investigate the causes. Led by Lord William Robert Peel, the commission in 1937 issued its report, which included the first official partition plan for the British Mandate of Palestine. See Part 2 for the story from 1937 to the involvement of the United Nations 10 years later.